because, man, I wanted to go in on the Jester, and, we got the juice is loose. The big Jets fans, you talk all this crap all year. We have a show on the Jets, and you're not even here. Sir, both sirs, your fan card is in my pocket. All right, like I said, Justin said we got a big show tonight. Jets, Jets. I'm in a New York state of mind indeed, and we got some great guests tonight as well. Also, if you are on YouTube right now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You'll automatically get entered to win a Justin Jefferson jersey signed by him and from our friends at Pristine Auction. All wrapped up and ready to go. Justin has got you ready with the Justin Jefferson. Hit that subscribe button. Visit tssfantasy.com today. You'll get all of our great stuff, our current rankings, our roundtable section, which will include articles from our Jets fan, Greg, and we can talk about some of the great things the Jets have. Also on there, he has some rankings on there as well. Great stuff, great show content. Check out the roundtable. Also, we're doing a show on your league, so that's also on there as well. You want to check that out. Also, don't want to forget, visit Underdog Fantasy. Listen, we're going to have lots of cool contests set up this year, not only to win the money from the contest, but we'll have extra tickets from Gatorland. We'll have extra stuff to come to a football game with us. Come on, guys. You got to go to Underdog Fantasy. Use the code word TSS, promo code, TSS. That will double your deposit up to $100. Justin, do you know why we do that?
Because we are for
the fantasy show of the people, indeed. All right, like I said, that was enough with our paying ourselves or whatever we're doing with that. Let's get on. We got a house call tonight, like I said, in a New York state of mind.
Look, I'm a doctor, not an escalator. Spock, give me a hand.
The doctor is in, and he is in a New York state of mind. We are here in the big city, New York City. We're here. Well, I guess it's New Jersey since we're doing this New Jersey with the Jets. They're dirty. Welcome to the studio, Dr. Jeffrey Miller.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. Looking forward to today's show.
Indeed. We got our pizza ready tonight. We got our Italian accent on. It's time for a little New York, okay? All right, so we're talking about the Jets. Listen, I mean, I don't like any of these AFC East teams, to be honest with you. I'm a Dolphins fan, of course. But, if we're looking at up and coming, the Jets certainly are that. With Zach Wilson, Elijah Moore, a lot of Breece Hall just drafted, a lot of young, good talent. Michael Carter from last year. So good young talent all the way around the Jet side. Talking about the young talent in particular, though, maybe some injury bugaboos for this year. Talk about Elijah Moore, the receiver. Big expectations. What is his percent to the bench for this upcoming season?
Yeah, certainly big expectations for Moore and the team collectively. So Elijah Moore's rookie season was cut short for a couple of reasons. Number one, we saw the quad injury. And then number two, he ended up in the COVID protocol. So he had that end his season a little early. But before that, he was a productive receiver. Now, neither one of those issues, the quad, the COVID, should carry over and affect this season directly. In fact, if we look at weeks 12 and 13 last season, he was the beneficiary of about a third of the targets. So expect a lot of utilization for Elijah Moore this year. Now, ultimately, his personal fantasy value hinges very heavily on the next guy we're going to talk about, right? Zach Wilson is going to determine Elijah Moore, at least in part, determine Elijah Moore's success this season. We're going to go Elijah Moore, 40% of the bench. Lots of utilization, lots of opportunity to be injured.
Lots of opportunity to be injured. Lots of utilization, though. So for fantasy, I mean, lots of targets, lots of points. So the doc certainly got his eye on Elijah. What about Zach Wilson? So we talked about the buildup, and all of it hinges on this guy, Zach Wilson. What do you think his to the bench this year. Actually, I even featured him in your intro just to piss off our co-host. I just thought that'd be funny. What do you think his percent to the bench is this year?
Yeah, so I'm not going to surprise any of our listeners when I say he didn't have the best rookie season, right? It wasn't everything he had hoped. But in fairness, he wasn't surrounded by elite talent, right? And he missed 5 games with the PCL sprain. And I mentioned this with Zeke in our Cowboys show previously, but that grade 2 PCL sprain can take weeks or months to recover without surgery. Symptoms include pain, swelling, and most importantly, feelings of instability. So those 5 games, Zach Wilson was dealing with what may have felt like a very unstable knee. And I'm not sure that we can fairly judge his future career by his rookie season alone. So I do think he may try to do a lot with his legs this season, kind of like we saw after he came back from the PCL injury. He was doing a lot on the ground himself. If he does that, he's another one who I'm a little worried he's going to end up seeing some time on the bench. Zach Wilson, 60% to the bench.
Ooh, 60% to the bench for the JETS. Listen, Zach Wilson, just sit down, bro. No, honestly, I think he'll, again, we'll see how the season plays out. But the Jets definitely are up and coming in the AFC East. So, Doc, appreciate you hanging out here in New York. We're going to go a little bit cross-state and go to Buffalo tomorrow. Appreciate you coming in tonight, and we will see you tomorrow.
See you then, my friend.
Sir. Well, if you can't tell, those are pre-taped. So, yeah, I kind of screwed up on where we're going because tomorrow we're visiting America's team. I'm super excited about that. All right, let's go. We got to get this intro going. We got 2 guests backstage ready to talk about the JETS Jets. Let's bring them in.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Woo! J-E-T-S! Jets! Let's go! Let's go! I don't hear you. Let's go! I don't hear you. Let's go! Let me hear you. No! Let's go! Let's go! Get it going! Get it going! Let's go! J-E-T-S! Jets!
And hear you, Matt O'Leary and Ryan. I can't hear you guys. Let's go. JETS Jets. Welcome to the studio. Matt O'Leary and my writing's bad, from Odds Checkers. Anyway, introduce yourself and where you're from, man, because my writing's horrible. Welcome to the studio, friend.
Thank you. Yes, Matt O'Leary from Odds Checker US and Just Jets podcast. That's me.
Awesome. Welcome to the studio, friend. Glad to have you in here. Also, welcome to the studio, a brethren of the Belly Up Network, a New York beat writer, Ryan McCarthy. Welcome to the studio, friend.
Thanks, Commish. Happy to be here.
Awesome. We are here to celebrate your team. How exciting is that? I mean, that for me is a first, believe me. Let's just talk real quick about the Jets offseason, and what they did prior. Free agency this year, CJ Uzomah, if I'm saying that correctly. Tyler Conklin kind of shored up the tight end position a little. Defensively, Jordan Whitehead, you've signed, but you've lost a couple pieces as well. So a little bit, but what's really big about the Jets this offseason was the draft. I mean, we talked about that immensely with Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, Breece Hall, lots of big signings for you guys in the draft. So that's like where the big meat and potatoes came in the offseason. Matt, I'm going to kick it to you first, my friend. Give me the outlook for the Jets 2022 campaign. Where do you see them finishing? And then also, while you're at it, give me your best game on the schedule.
Ooh, okay. So I think a lot of Jet fans are expecting the Jets to take a step forward in their rebuilding process. So obviously last year you had a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach, a first-time play caller, and with the number of injuries that they had in the state of the roster, they took their lumps and they won 4 games. I think they have to get around that 7-win mark, maybe a little bit more if things break right. But on offense, I think they added a bunch of pieces to make them at least competitive. They added Lincoln Tomlinson, who's a Pro Bowl caliber guard, which should help your young quarterback. And really, I think the Jets' success is going to be contingent on Zach Wilson and how much of a step he takes in year 2. He looked better down the stretch last year after returning from injury, but still needs to take a little bit of a step forward here, developing. But if he does that, then it's really just it's going to be on his shoulders. When looking at the schedule, as the divisional games, they always stand out. New England's one that you always have circled. Going on the road in Lambeau, though, I think I have that one circled just because of the historic nature of Lambeau Field and getting to go play there. So that's one I'm keeping an eye on.
I like that one a lot, actually. On this, I'm on a stadium tour. That is definitely one that I'm looking to go to for sure. Ryan, my friend, tell me what you think the outlook is for the Jets this season, and give me your favorite game on the schedule.
I'm definitely in the same. I'm definitely in agreement with Matt in that the Jets added a lot of pieces in the offseason with the draft, especially making those moves as Trader Joe Douglas, as I call him. But yeah, the season's gonna be reliant on what Zach Wilson does at quarterback to see what he can do to make a step forward. From all indications during minicamp and during OTAs, he's taking that step. He's being more verbal in the huddle. He's taking charge. He actually visited his receivers individually during the offseason, which is awesome to see. And the one part of this team I'm excited to see is this offensive line. I want to see what this offensive line can do. I'm a former offensive lineman myself, not in the NFL sense, but just I've played offensive line. I've played defensive line. I know what it takes. That's the pillar of both sides of the ball, is the offensive and defensive line. And I can't wait to see what kind of work they can do in the season, especially with those additions, Lincoln Tomlinson being one of them. I'm hoping to see Mekhi Becton back in the lineup. That remains to be seen, but I'm just looking forward to see what this offensive line can do. For me, the game to look out for is Week 5. And that's the first divisional game against Miami, and that's coming off of 4 consecutive weeks of playing AFC Central opponents, because I think Week 5 is when we're going to really see what the Jets can do. Now, what's going to be the record coming up to this point? It could be 4-0. It could be 0-4. It could be 2-2 or 1-3 and 3-1. We don't know for sure because of this murderous part of the first 4 weeks of the schedule. But I'm looking forward to seeing looking at Week 5 as is kind of what the Jets are going to be like during the rest of the season. And I'm excited for what's going to happen this season.
Indeed. I mean, listen, it's football season. We're all excited. The new season begins. Anything is possible. Justin Jesus Herrera, what do you say, sir? What do you think the Jets are doing this year?
The Jets are actually one of my favorite teams in the league right now. Like Ryan was saying, like they've done a phenomenal job building this offensive line with a mixture of the draft and a mixture of good free agent pieces and trade pieces. George Fant was a huge addition last year, and he ended up pulling it pretty well with Mekhi Becton going down. This team actually finished PFF, for what it's worth, ranked them, the final rankings put them at 11 for line. So, obviously there's something there, and they're growing. They got Elijah Vera Tucker at guard. You throw in Lincoln Tomlinson, like Ryan said, which is perfect for their system because their system is a direct replica of the 49ers wide zone scheme. So you got somebody there who has pretty much perfected it for the last 3-4 years. Then you got one of the best, in my opinion, wide zone runners that you could have in Breece Hall. One of the big things that I want to see them use this year last year Mike White went crazy with Michael Carter, and I think that his role is very like, you know, it's shaky right now. They just added a 2nd round pick. He was a 4th round pick. It's kind of a little up in the air. You know, you can't really have 2 workhorse running backs. So one thing that he can do really well is he's a good pass blocker, and he showed last year that when you get the ball in his hands in open space, he's really good as well. So I want to see Zach Wilson kind of develop into a sophomore, more of a veteran type of mentality where he's using all the weapons around him, because he's got a ton of them, right? You were talking about Conklin, you were talking about Uzama. Those are your red zone threats. You get it down the field with Moore, you get it down the field with Wilson. You know, you still got Berrios, who somehow finds his way into the slot every single season. And then you got Corey Davis. Corey Davis coming in, well, last year was supposed to be a bigger play, but, you know, at the end of the day, he's a good possession receiver. He can move the chains for you. Overall, you know, I could talk about this offense all day long. And if you ever want, I wrote an article about them. It was a full team breakdown on Belly Up. And yeah, it was one of the most exciting teams I was excited to write about them, is all I'm saying.
All right. Well, I definitely just threw up in my mouth a little. And how about a game on the schedule that you might like?
So I'm actually looking towards 2 games. I'm looking towards week 6 against the Bengals, and I'm also looking towards, I think it's week 12 against the Bears. The Bears game, because it's going to be Wilson versus Fields. I think that's a crazy good matchup. It's always nice to have 2 guys from the same class. They're always going to be compared to each other because they came from that same elite quarterback class. Elite because we haven't seen many of them prove it yet. So it's kind of cool to see that showdown, especially, you know, 2 teams that are kind of trying to grow. And then with the Bengals, you get Zach Wilson and Joe Burrow. You know, Joe Burrow is a guy who took a huge second-year step, and Zach Wilson's a guy who we're looking towards making a huge second-year step. So those are my 2 games. My record for them is 7-10, but it's a very progressive 7-10. It's looking like good shape, guys.
Yeah, so I think we're all in agreement with the record, 7-8 wins. That's kind of where I see them too. I will, however, say the Cleveland Browns will disagree with your assertion you can't have 2 workhorse running backs. That might end up working for the Jets. They may end up having 2 ground and pound workhorse that they just take over games with, and then again setting up the pass. Now, defensively, still a lot of questions. This was a team last year ranked pretty much towards the end of everything as far as defense, even fantasy related. They were dead last. So a lot of questions on the defensive end, but a good power running game helps your defense, right? So AKA maybe that's something, a formula they dial into. We'll see. And now as far as the game, I don't know how you guys missed this. The last game of the year, you come down to see America's team. And guess what? We are also going to include that into a contest. So, guys, we are offering a chance to come down and go to that game with us. So all you got to do, you got to get on the Underdog, use that promo code TSS. We're going to have a cool game set up for you guys later on in the season so you guys can get on it. All right, Matt. See, Matt was like, "All right, I'm done. I'm done listening to your promos, bro."
Matt had to go puke for a second.
I was like, "Yo, bro, stop with the shameless plugs already." No, but again, just to close out, as far as the outlook of the season is concerned, everyone kind of here is in agreement on kind of where they're at. But again, I mentioned it to the doc. The best part about the Jets is that all this talent is young, good young talent. Can't go wrong with that. Build up that defense. Your offense is already on its way. So, again, very promising outlook for the Jets, as gross as it makes me feel to say that.
You know what the problem with that is,
embrace
right?
it, commish. Embrace it.
You got to pay them all at the same time. That's the problem with that.
That's true too. That's true too. But hey, guess what? Whatever. I mean, you know, we'll take that problem later, right? I mean, if it's a problem, it's a good problem we got to deal with. Trade capital, anything, you do anything with that stuff. So again,
hey, as long as they win a Super Bowl before the contract runs up, they're good to go, right?
Just win a Super Bowl before I die. Come on.
Right. Hey, listen, don't even get me started. I'm going to go on a long tangent tomorrow night about just one Super Bowl before I go, man. That's all I ask. I'll be good to freaking go, please. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to play Family Feud New York Jets edition. Ryan versus Matt. Can't wait for that. We'll be right back.
Hayden, we love fantasy football. We do. It's a fantastic game, yet still not perfect. Like, I hate leaving high-scoring players on my bench.
The worst, man.
In fact, hate it even more when I put injured players and they're in my starting lineup.
Can't have that.
And I need a life. The waivers, the trades, every single week, it grinds on me. So we at Underdog Fantasy want to make fantasy football easier for everyone out there. It's called Best Ball, and we set your optimal lineup for you each and every week. You can do it all year long. We have drafts going all the way from February to week 1 of the NFL season. What are you waiting for? Use our awesome early sign-up offer to get a little extra something on that first deposit and that first time you play on Underdog Fantasy.
You put them up, reach the skies, touch the stars up above, cause it's one time for the underdog, one time for the underdog.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a great game tonight. I pulled out the way back stuff. The only thing I will say is I did pull out a New York question, so I hope you guys have been to New York City or we're going to be failing on that one. All right, guys, guess what? Time to play the feud. Brad?
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. It's going to be a long game. All right, it is time for Fantasy Feud. So Ryan and Matt, I know you haven't seen the show before. It's so cool. It's cool to say that. Basically, what we do here, I don't have a fancy buzzer. So what I'm going to do is ask the question, and if you know the answer, shout it out. Once you do shout it out, just like Family Feud, if it's correct, you get control of the round, and then you can finish out, of course, 3 strikes. The other guy gets a chance to steal. Pretty basic stuff. All right, here we go. First question. Top 5 answers on the board. Give me the all-time passing yard leaders for the New York Jets.
Joe Namath.
Chad Pennington.
Joe Namath was first and correct.
So just go with the rest of...
Yeah, so basically what we'll do now is you after each one, you'll keep guessing. If you're wrong, you'll get the 3 strikes. Ryan gets a chance to steal. And real quick, Ryan, Chad Pennington, bro, of all the Jets quarterbacks, that's where you go. Just mess with you. All right, Matt, you're up, bro. Go ahead.
I'll go Ken O'Brien.
Ken O'Brien with those damn teeth. Remember him from the Marino days, indeed.
My favorite quarterback growing up, too.
There you go. All right. Let's keep it rolling. Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny, I can't see any color from the U. Testaverde. All right, so basically where you're at, you got Joe Namath was number 1. He was 27,000 yards. Ken O'Brien, 24,000. He's number 2. Vinny Testaverde, he was number 5 on this list with 12. So you're missing number 3 and number 4 on the list.
I'm going to steal Ryan's answer and go Chad Pennington. I think he's on
Chad Pennington. Correct. He is number 4 on this list with 13,000. You're missing number 3.
See, longevity is the issue here, which is what I'm struggling with.
That's pretty much what she said.
Hey-o.
Could it be Mark Sanchez?
Mark, go Wes Sanchez.
Okay. Richard Todd.
Richard Todd. I hit the wrong.
Shocking.
My bad. That was Fat Fingers. That actually was correct. He is number 3 on this list. I went to hit it, and for some reason, it slid the video up instead of actually clicking the damn thing. So my bad. That was correct. You nailed that. You have cleared the board. Richard Todd, number 3, with 18,241 yards. So good job knowing your Jets history there. Moving on to question 2. All right, Ryan, you're down 1. Let's see if you can get it here. All-time, top 5 answers on the board, all-time rushing TD leaders.
Curtis Martin.
Curtis Martin. He is number 1 on the list with 58. And God bless you if you can get the rest.
All right. Matt Snell.
Matt Snell. I had to look at that. No fat fingers on that one. That was wrong.
Freeman McNeil.
Freeman McNeil. That was one of those 80s names. Number 4 on this list with 38.
Johnny Hector.
Johnny Hector. He's number 3 on this list with number 41. So you got Curtis Martin, number 1. You got Johnny Hector, number 3. Freeman McNeil, number 4. You're missing 2 and 5 on the list.
Oh, my gosh. I'm trying to think back. Sean Green's not in this list, I don't think. Well, what the heck? Sean Green.
Sean Green.
And I studied too. This is embarrassing.
You have 2 and 5 still remaining on this list.
God, I recognize this name. I'm just trying to think. Not Thomas Jones. Thomas Jones.
He's like, but wait, was it Thomas Jones? All right, so what do you got, Ryan? I'm gonna have to hit the button.
Right, I'll say Thomas Jones.
He is gonna say Thomas Jones, although he's pretty jacked, not on this list.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, Matt, your chance to steal here. Number 2 and number 5 still remaining.
Oh, see, I was thinking Thomas Jones. Oh, I dropped again.
You're good.
I don't know what's up with my camera tonight. See, I was thinking Thomas Jones too. So, oh man, okay. I'll go for number 5, maybe. Chris Ivory. I don't think
Chris Ivory. Nope. Ryan, you take the round. It's all tied up. And the number 2 answer on this list, get ready, Jets fans, Emerson Boozer. 52 rushing touchdowns. Number 5 on this list, Bill Mathis, 37.
Who could forget Bill Mathis?
Well, I mean, good old Bill. Like, I mean, it was, Sideshow Bill, like whatever, his old nickname. All right, let's go. We got question number 3. Let's get defensive, right? Let's get down and dirty, right? You're a defensive lineman, right, Ryan? So let's go there. Top 5 answers on the board. Give me the sack leaders all time for the Jets.
Mark Gastineau.
Mark Gastineau. If you dance over Marino one more goddamn time.
Those are my favorite moments in the 80s.
used to hate that man because every time he get to Danny, he'd do his little dance, and I used to get so mad. All right, so Mark Gastineau, number 1 on this list, 74 sacks total for him. All right, Matt, you control, my friend. Go right ahead.
I'm gonna go Joe Klecko.
Joe Klecko. Not on the list.
Wow.
Surprised. All right. I'm gonna go John Abraham.
John Abraham.
Good guess.
He's number 3 on this list with 53.5, but I did want to make sure it was noted. He did it in almost half the games as even Mark Gastineau paid. Half the game Mark Gastineau did is number 3 on your list.
Did he go with the Falcons afterwards, or was he with the Falcons first?
He was traded to the Falcons. One of the worst trades in Jets history.
Yeah, he was one of their players too.
Good.
So you got 1 and 3 on the list, friend.
All right. So I'm thinking longevity again. I'll go Sean Ellis.
Sean Ellis.
Yes.
He is number 2 on this list with 72.5. So you're missing 4 and 5 on this list.
Dennis Byrd.
Dennis Byrd. Not on this one.
Okay. How about I'll go longevity again. We'll do Calvin Pace.
Calvin Pace. Keeping pace in this round, number 5 on this list with 46. You got 1 answer remaining with 1 strike remaining. The pressure's on. You're up to home plate. Number 4 on this list is what you need to get.
Mo Wilkerson.
Mo Wilkerson.
Ahmed Wilkerson.
Oh, hell no!
Ryan, you have a chance to steal.
Go with Marty Lyons.
Marty Lyons. Not correct. Number 4 on this list was a Mo. It was Mo Lewis. 52.5 sacks for Mr. Mo. All right, let's go. We got a good one here. Matt's up 2-1. This is really, now, if you're a Jets fan watching right now, I want you to take extra special care to this question. Because honestly, like when I'm looking this up, I'm like, this is something I'd want to know too. Just because if my buddy was this other team, I'd want to know I own them. So basically, this question is top 5 answers on the board. Give me your best winning percentage per opponent head to head. Top 5.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, I don't know why they're not on everyone's list, to be honest.
Wow. Surprising.
Not on this one, though.
Huh.
Oh, God. Man. I guess, you know what? I'll go, divisional opponent. I'll go Bills.
Buffalo Bills not circling the wagons here. Boy, I got a good one here tonight, apparently. Ryan, I'll go back to you. Give you a chance. I mean, we got 32 teams, and we got all night.
Good thing I got the podcast episode in before this. It's going to be a weird one. How about the Arizona Cardinals?
Arizona.
Dang.
Matt?
Yeah, I like where you're going with that. I'm going to try to steal similar logic. I'm going to say Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. You guys are on the right track. Ryan.
Houston Texans.
Houston, Texas. Ryan gets one.
That feels good.
Ryan gets one of them. It might be all you need, quite frankly. All right, so you take control here. Houston Texans are number 3 on your list. You guys are 6-3 against Houston. Give you a .667 average.
San Diego Chargers. San Diego / Los Angeles Chargers.
The Superchargers.
Cincinnati Bengals.
The Cincinnati Bengals. Someone mentioned earlier, I think it was you, Matt, the Cincinnati game, the one you want to see on your schedule. You guys are 16-10 against the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 4 on your list.
Including playoffs?
I don't know. I didn't go that in depth, bro. Come on. I got a day job.
I think we're 2-0 all time against the Bengals in the playoffs, to be honest with you.
Oh, awesome. Hey.
The New Orleans Saints.
The New Orleans Saints. Good guess. All right. You got 1, 2, and 5 remaining and only 1 strike left.
I'm going to make you throw up, Kamish, the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, you know that ain't right. You already know this.
Yeah,
no, bro, no. I would even if it was
boot me off.
Even if it was true, I would have left it off the list. All right, Matt, you get your chance to steal. 1, 2, and 5 are remaining.
I think I'm going to go Green Bay.
Green Bay Packers. Wow. He pulls it out. They were number 5 on this list. I was really surprised to see them on here, actually. 8-5, you guys are against them. Number 1 on this list, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, believe it or not. You guys own the Bucs. 10-3 against the Bucs all time. And apparently you guys own the old NFC North, because number 2 on this list, the Minnesota Vikings, 8-3 against them.
You know what sucks? I was thinking NFC Central, but I kept thinking AFC as well. So
listen, I did have one other question on here, but it was about New York places to eat pizza. And to be honest with you, I didn't know how much you knew, so I was waiting for that to last. Luckily, Matt won. If you want to go with the question, we can. But I figured if you guys aren't really hanging out in New York City that much, it's all good. I can just read it off to you guys just so I can represent. It's list from NewYorkSimply.com. If you go to New York City, guys, this is, according to them, the best places to get pizza. Ruby Rosso Pizza is number 1. Roberta's Pizza is number 2. Juliana's Pizza is number 3. I got to do it like this. John's of Bleecker Street, that's number 4. And number 5, Lombardi's Pizza. We're celebrating New York City tonight. That's why I want to share that. NewYorkSimply.com, not my list at all. But listen.
Sabaro's not in the list for an authentic New York.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Ryan knows.
My wife started bringing up. My wife was like, "What about this place? What about that?" I was like, "I don't know. Just ask the freaking website. What do you want to tell you?" All right, listen. We got a winner tonight, Matt. Congratulations, my friend.
I love it. Amazing.
Of course, we also, of course, sorry, I can get off mute here, have a loser as well.
Dumbass. Thank these. They call me dumbass. Black Kite Entertainment.
get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Thanks, Gene Wilder.
The patented dumbass of the week award, my friend, is for you. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, get back into this football real quick. One last segment. We're going to talk about individual players and fantasy implications for the JTS Jets. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, it's Commissioner Cooper from TSS Fantasy. Want to give your own fantasy league that extra professional touch? Say less, we got you. TSS was based off a show that we did on our own fantasy league. Night, sorry, and now possible playful. You're on your way. Now we want to bring that professional, fun, and creative side to your fantasy league. And you can do it for as low as $5 extra per owner.
Oh my.
I will guarantee it will increase your interactions within the league, create more fun, friendly banter, and give your league that extra real-life feel that you didn't know it needed. We look forward to interacting with you and your league soon. Don't forget TSSFantasy.com. Go visit it today. Get signed up. We are the fantasy show of the people.
And it's the fantasy show, the people indeed. We're about to go over some rankings right now. And of course, the question is, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, well, SpongeBob is ready at least, so let's get started with the quarterback position. We'll talk about Zach Wilson last year, QB number 30 last year, but also playing in 13 games, which, of course, obviously affect your fantasy rankings and your, of course, output on the field. You guys mentioned the additions in the offensive line. We talked earlier extensively about the additions in the running back position. We obviously know about the upgrade in receiver, and then you upgraded in tight end. That only means bigger and better things, of course, for Zach Wilson. Stays on the field. He's got potential to be a good quarterback. Now, fantasy-wise, I have him currently right now ranked 20. So in that, I don't know, maybe third tier, second to third tier, if you need somebody to plug in. For right now, it's early as we see, looking at the quarterbacks ahead of him, that's just where I see his value currently. What do you think, my man, Justin? Although you're so high in this Jets team, I'm afraid to ask where you have him ranked.
Yeah, I'm very bullish right now. I have him at QB 12. I'm one of those guys that I look at the team around him and I look at the talent that he possesses, and I'm just waiting for it to explode. And I'm going to be the guy who calls the breakout a year before. So then I know for dynasty teams, I'm going to have the guy, the legit guy. So I think that he's got the talent around him. I think Garrett Wilson is a very NFL-ready wide receiver. I think Elijah Moore should have been a wide receiver too if he stayed on the field last year, and that's saying something as a rookie. He's also got Conklin. He's got Uzama, two big tight ends who are efficient in the red zone, and Uzama is also a deep threat as he proved last year with Joe Burrow. He's got Breece Hall, who's going to give him more of a solid, strong workhorse running attack. And, you know, like I said before, if they can ever get Michael Carter more involved like they did for those 2 weeks with Mike White, he's going to be a huge weapon in this offense. Kind of like how you said Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is a big passing threat as a running back. So, yeah, I'm bullish QB 12 right now, and you can't change my mind.
All right, well, he's bullish. Ryan, how say you, sir? Where do you see your man Zach Wilson as far as fantasy rankings?
I mean, as far as fantasy rankings, I probably see him around high teens to 16 to 20. based on the fact that, yeah, I mean, a lot of what Justin said, adding pieces around him, some tight end threats in the end zone, running help in the running game. We've got not just one but two backs who can be game breakers, especially the rookie Brees Hall. That's going to be that's a huge addition to the offense. But here's the biggest part of this offense: everyone has to remain healthy. This has been the biggest obstacle for the Jets not just last season, but the seasons before. They can't remain healthy for some reason. So for Zach Wilson to have a great year statistically as a quarterback, and to have some value at fantasy, not just him but everyone around him has to remain healthy, because you don't want him throwing to Tariq Black in week 17 like he had to last year. So it all comes down to whether or not he and the rest of the people around him the rest of the lineup around him can stay healthy.
Indeed. So I mentioned earlier about him missing games and still ended up pretty decent as far as fantasy rank is concerned. But 30th, that many games.
And the weird part, Commissioner, I'm sorry to interrupt you. It was after his injury that his numbers got better. His turnovers went down. His interception and turnovers went down. His touchdowns went up. He was a better quarterback after he was injured, because I think he saw everything on the field, and it just became the game got slower for him as the year went on, after he came back especially. So, but yeah, it's just going to come down to that health thing.
Indeed. Matt, what do you think? Do you see a sophomore slump for your bro, or where do you see him at in rankings?
No, I think he takes a step forward. I like your number at 20 for right now, because there's still a lot of he's unproven. So I think he has to obviously show it on the field first before I value him over some of these other guys. But if by year end he's somewhere around the middle of the pack, I think you sign up for that. But for right now, I'm cautiously optimistic going into the year. But from a fantasy perspective, I don't think I can go much higher than 20 at this current point.
Sure. Like I said, 13 games last year. Add 4 more, you're in that top 20 ranking. So not too shabby. Let's go to the running back position. Talk about Michael Carter first. He was 30th last season in 2021. Obviously, he had some injury concerns as well. So where I have him currently this year is a little bit below that, being that we have the addition of Brees Hall. Obviously, we can't rank him from last year except for his college. But again, I know somebody on the set's very bullish on Brees Hall. So I'm going to take a little bit page off Justin, since he's so high on Brees Hall. I haven't been as high on him, but since I've heard so much from Justin this offseason, I'm like, I moved him up my rankings a little bit. So I have Brees Hall at 24. So but I'm looking at my rankings right now. I got Michael Carter a little bit outside the top 30 and Brees Hall 24. Listen, at the end of the day, if I'm that offense, I'll take that all day. Justin, what say you, sir?
Oh, yeah, 100%. So I got him one spot ahead of you, 23, and you knew I was not a Brees Hall guy going into it. The draft process, I didn't like a lot of things I saw, but I love his fit in this offense. Like I said before, he is the perfect breakaway runner for a wide zone offense. You just got to open the door and he'll jet to the end zone. Pun intended. But as far as Michael Carter, I got him at 35, and I have him as one of the better handcuffs you can have for Brees Hall. Obviously, we'll find out who's going to be the real starter, but at the end of the day, if Michael Carter stays at the value that he is right now and he turns into a starter midseason due to an injury or something like that, he's going to be an absolute steal, and he's going to be a league winner. Last year, he averaged 4 yards per carry. And, he was really good for a really short stretch of the season. But like you said, it was due to injury.
Matt, what say you, sir?
I think your projections are probably fairly close. I don't think I can go much higher on either of those guys, just because I think they're going to split carries, because I like both of them. So I think Brees gets a little bit more of the reps than Michael Carter, just because of where he was taken and how much of a fit he would be in this offense. But I don't know how you can go much higher when you have these backfields that really is going to have a feature back. I don't think the Jets will do that. I think they'll split too many carries. So I think we're pretty close with somewhere probably around the mid-20s for Brees. And then you're looking at maybe like mid-30s or in maybe the low end of the 40s. I don't know if I go back that far. I guess mid-30s, like around 35 then for Michael Carter.
Indeed. Ryan, I'm going to kick it to you for this receiver because we're coming up on the time here. So let's go talk about receivers real quick. Justin, I got Elijah Moore last year, 46 receiver overall, 11 games, though, played. So that's still very impressive. Again, we talked about Curtis Wilson, Davis, whatever. Corey Davis, he is what he is, but might be a nice fit.
Curtis Wilson?
Oh, my bad. Sorry. My writing's bad. I'm trying to hurry. My bad. All right. Anyway, long story short, I got these guys currently like mid-tier. I got Elijah Moore actually this year, number 28, missing that many games last year. If he's a healthy this year with a healthy Zach Wilson, sky's the limit for him. Justin, real quick, what do you got?
Yeah. So I think we should get away from this idea that we can either have Garrett Wilson or Elijah Moore. I think they can both be very sustainable in this offense. I'm not projecting either one of them to be too different. I think in my rankings, I have them fairly close. So in my rankings currently, I have Moore at 19, and actually it's a little bit off, but I can't find Wilson right now. Just for the sake of time, I think they both can work in the system. I think one guy to look out for, a real good value, is Tyler Conklin. He was top 10 last year in red zone targets, and he really kind of shined when Irv Smith went down. So I think that, Uzama's good, but at the end of the day, if they're going to be doing a 2 tight end system, last year, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry was a perfect example of you can't just count out the other guy because one guy's on the field and he's paid more.
I was hoping to get to the tight ends, but at least you stole the thunder. Ryan, go ahead with the receivers, though. Where do you place them? And Justin, yes, of course you got both these guys high because you got Zach Wilson, number 12. So, of course. All right, what do you think, Ryan?
I think Justin missed one guy, and he represents this university right here, the U. Braxton Berrios does a little bit of everything. Can be your gadget guy, can be your slot guy. He can do a little bit of everything, and I think he's going to have – he had a pretty – breakout. The last 6 games of the season, he was, I believe, in the top 5 ranked, according to PFF, for receivers until he got hurt and missed the last 2 games of the year. So that's one guy I have on my fantasy radar in terms of New York Jets, because he's so versatile and can do so much. Now, as for wideouts, Garrett Wilson, definitely NFL ready for sure. Corey Davis, have a full year of health from him. He'll be productive. Denzel Mims, I know he's kind of put a sour taste in a lot of Jets fans' mouth, myself included. But right now, he's having a fantastic. From all indications, he's having a fantastic catch, and the coach is saying can't say enough good things about him currently. So compared to last year, so he might be another guy to watch who's kind of under the radar as well.
Indeed. All right, let's close it out with the tight end real quick. And Justin, you already gave your take, so just shut it. No, I'm just kidding.
I was just going to say, Ryan, I'm still scrolling to find Braxton Berrios on my rankings.
Yeah, I knew I interrupted you for good reason. Dissing my you guy. Come on, bro. All right, let's go to tight end real quick. Let Matt close it out here. CJ Uzomah, we talked about him a lot last year on our show. Like, he showed up big time some weeks he was the number 1 tight end. It was like 2 or 3 weeks that he had big games. So big potential, I think, here in this offense. And again, you talk about Tyler Conklin. We'll see about that. I don't have him ranked, but I do have CJ Uzomah at 17 right now. Could be a riser, though. Somebody look out for. What do you think, Matt?
I'm actually with Justin here. I think Conklin's going to be the one stealing some red zone targets. So I think his value is going to end up going up. And I thought he filled in really nicely for Minnesota last year after their injury at the tight end position. They're going to split reps. Like, I don't think anyone's going to, run away and have 700 plus receiving yards and a bunch of touchdowns. But I think with the red zone targets, I might lean Conklin slightly, but they're pretty close in value in my eyes.
Yeah, again, I only got CJ Uzomah up there because of those big freaking games he had so much last year. So it might, he might be one of those players that once he finds his groove, like it just, one of those things where he gets hot, it's on. Ryan, we got a little bit of time left. What do you think about CJ Uzomah's prospects this year? Yeah, I hear you. I think you're on mute.
All right.
There we go.
Let's get professional now. No, again, it's going to come back. It's going to come down to health. CJ Uzomah had a breakout season last year. The last couple seasons, he's been kind of injury prone. Conklin, another red zone target. I would value him more than Uzomah. But you also want to look out for Jeremy Ruckert, especially late into the season, because especially if what happens if Conklin goes down or Uzomah goes down. They drafted him for a reason. That reason is to be the developmental tight end that this team needs going forward into the future. And if one of those two guys is hurt, you got Jeremy Ruckert right under their wing. You can fill in, could be a big red zone target in fantasy, especially later in the season.
Ryan pulling out the sleeper tight ends early. All right, that's great. Ryan, close us out. Give us, let us all know where to find all your great stuff out, my friend.
Okay, so as you can see below, my personal account, Twitter account is @WhoIsRyanMCC. My podcast, No Credentials Required. We're doing a daily-ish podcast now called The Morning Cup. I got another edition coming out tomorrow, so I'd appreciate a listen and a follow on the Twitters right there.
Indeed. All right, go follow Ryan. All of his great stuff. Great job tonight. We appreciate you, Matt. Thank you so much. Congratulations on your Family Feud win. Let us know where we can find all your great stuff at, my friend.
Yeah, so you can follow on social media, on YouTube at Matt O'Leary NY. We're talking Jets over there. We like to keep it light. We like to keep it fun. So if you're into it, give it a follow.
Indeed. I mean, listen, you came on this show, you kicked butt, you hung with us. I mean, this is already a good time already over here, right? All right, Justin, appreciate you. Do you want to close out? I know you got another show. Do you want to tell everybody where to find your other show, like you're cheating on us with?
Yeah, so immediately after this, I'm going to be hopping on Dynasty Brews tonight. It's going to be live on YouTube, live on Twitter, and live on Facebook. And then we go live on Belly Up TV on Saturday at 9 a.m.
Awesome. Go check out Justin. I mean, we still want football talk. He's going to be talking all damn night. Good job, Justin.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the NFC North.
For me, it's Betty Bye time. We appreciate you guys, and we are out.
We're on a mission. Right. That's because you have my. We're on a mission.